Yeah, we are live.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of the Weymouth Town Council Planning and Licensing Committee. So, we have various items to go through, and the favourite item on the agenda is the election of a vice chair. On the basis that those that seek political office are the last people that should be given it, we all qualify because none of you are seeking it. So you're obviously the right people to already. We really could do with a vice chair, maybe, especially because I'm not going to be here next time. So it'd be great to have a vice chair. Do we have any?
Sorry, not going to be here next time. Can it be?
No, I'm going to be somewhere else. Another. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you haven't seen that. Excuse me. Yeah, sure. Anyone like to meet my gaze?
He's not here.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Councillor
Well, I
Taylor.
nominated you last time because you weren't here.
Yes.
They told me I couldn't do that.
Beverly's on holiday.
Yes, yeah, we can't nominate, she's not here.
Shall we move this to the next meeting and we'll work on
You have
some
to
people in
work
the
it.
meantime?
You have to work on, yeah, if each group could.
Yeah.
If each group come up to the nomination, then we can have a contest.
Cool.
Yeah, but it'd be good to have a vice chair. Okay, well, that's just the morning,
Yeah.
the next time. Moving on, apologies for absence. We've received from Councillor Day, who will be substituted by Councillor Sybil
Who's not yet
in
arrived.
due course, and from Councillor Taylor. So members are asked to approve your, do you want proposals and seconds? Or just
Yes, please.
proposer? Secondly, Councillor Dickens. All in favour?
Thank you very much.
Lovely. Harry.
Yeah.
Yep, come on in. Hello and welcome.
Hello, you Francis.
Sorry, that's been.
Oh, that's quite funny.
Let's sit down and look at it. Do you want a drink? Yeah, don't do water. Yeah, just the ones.
That's
It's Francis Holland. Is it Francis Holland?
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. We may move the agenda around. With the committee permission, I may move the agenda around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no
worries.
We'll just do the formalities, then we'll change the agenda around. Declarations of interest, none, no, everyone remembers one to pipe up. Minutes of the last meeting, members will ask to agree the minutes as a true and accurate record. So I can sign as such. Everyone happy, so proposed.
I'll propose.
Proposed, Dickon. Second with Councillor Hayter. All those in favour? Yep, unanimous, good. Right, so I'm going to move the agenda around.
Yeah, so if we do the public participation.
Yeah, and then move on to the
And then
the
move
crossing.
and move the crossing request up.
Yeah, that's towards the end, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Just for the
Okay.
round of the agenda.
Oh.
Excuse me.
That's fine.
Let me. The chair is going to move the agenda around, so if you'd like to address the committee now about your concerns or or wishing to have the crossing in update.
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not into public. And then what the chair will do is, once you've said your bit, then the committee will consider the request.
Yes.
So you can say
Okay.
that bit, so you can hear what they have to say, and then you're free to go after that night.
okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so
Welcome, no, fine.
Right, about the update crossing.
yeah,
Okay, Yes, so-
Esther. I'd just like to say, if pecans was proposed, I would think that would be a very bad idea because it would stop the flow of commuter traffic through that narrow area. And also, the people who live at the north end of Outlook.
Sorry,
Okay, that's what I've got to say.
so you showing, chicanes and.
I read about chicanes, a proposal that could be chicanes there.
Yeah.
But yes, with that they got further down near
Yeah.
Scotlandway Street
Yes,
and Chapel Lane.
yes.
But I think that in this case, to do with the Tesco crossing, it would be a very bad idea. It's narrow, people want to go into Tesco's. The people that were driving towards Dorchester wouldn't be able to get through very easy, but commute to Dorchester and come back that way, because that is what is happening at the moment. And people that are driving further afield from Dorchester.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't, I just want to say that, and yeah, I realise I can't discuss anymore, but. I know you can't make any comment, but I just wanted to bring that point,
Okay, so,
okay?
yes, have you said what you'd like to say? Yeah, okay, so now we'll move the, agenda items around.
Sorry, I'm very hard of hearing.
We're gonna move the agenda item round and discuss that item. So, at this stage, the discussion will be in the committee.
Yeah.
So
Okay, thank you.
you're fine to observe. So we'll move on to that item. You got any? Picture of it?
Yeah, so this is the report submitted by councillor Northam on screen. So. Yeah, that just shows some vehicles parked. It looks like they're on the pavement, actually.
They're on the forecourt there,
Yeah,
where it says no parking.
Yes,
You're not
it's
supposed to park at the front, car parks at the.
yeah, it's often a.
There's always people there, but you're
just see if
not
there's
actually
any more
supposed to park
pictures
at the
there.
front.
Very large.
May I just ask,
Yep,
because my hearing is about as good as the lady's hearing, I didn't really understand the thing that was said there. Is she supporting the chicane there?
No.
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 She's against having one there.
Yeah, Mr.
I
Chairman.
thought it was
yeah,
the wrong
thank you,
place.
yeah, that was.
In the right place,
Yeah.
right, okay.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
So we go to
speak on this.
Debate on this. then.
Okay, then this is in my ward here.
Yeah.
The problem is that the speed of car down Dorchester Road there, we have the Tesco's. There's a lot of residential property across the road there. There's no easy way to get across that road. The lady here spoke about chicanes, which is a possibility. I'm not really clear what her objection was, because we have two chicanes further down, which don't really obstruct the traffic going up there. And anyway, the point is that that's no longer a through route, or it shouldn't be a main road. So chicanes are only one possibility. Another possibility would be to have a full crossing with lights, which would be more expensive, or even just a refuge in the middle would make a huge difference.
Yep.
So the recommendation here, the motion, is to ask Dorset Council to look at this. Because we haven't got the powers, that's highways, so we can
Yeah,
only ask
yeah.
Dorset. So I propose that we ask Dorset to look at putting a crossing of some sort in there. And then come back with presumably their recommendations on this, with either a chicane or a full crossing, or just a refuge would be very effective there. Because traffic comes down the hill there, round the corner. The drivers often haven't slowed down by the time they get to Tesco's. They'll be doing 40 miles an hour or more sometimes. And you have children, people are not quite so agile crossing the road to go to Tesco's there. And I think there's a serious need for something to make it easier to cross the road there.
Councillor
I can't think there's a problem with asking Dorchester for their opinion on this. I really don't see that there's any problem there at all. I mean, they will either accept it
Has councillor
and tell
Northam
us,
been in touch?
or they'll say, get lost.
So they'll be more polite.
Yeah, politely, yeah.
Councillor Holmesworth.
Maybe a compromise with a zebra crossing, it'd be cheaper than a full crossing and
I think what the lady was saying with the chicanes would interfere with the flow, I guess. I think that's what she was getting at, yeah. Yes, but maybe a zebra crossing would be better,
Yeah,
maybe.
so well, those were the options that the Dorset
Yeah.
Dorchester would consider, wouldn't they? So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I could add something to that. The objection to the chicane is that it narrows the road down, so cars have to stop and wait for something.
Yeah.
In effect, we have a very long chicane, several hundred metres long, further along.
Yeah.
Up to the bottom of the hill there, where it's the line of parked cars.
Yeah, park cars.
So if you're driving, your flow is impeded anyway, and you typically have to be way round a couple into the space and round. And chicane would not impede the flow any more than is there already.
Councillor Clifford.
Could I suggest then that through you, Tim, that we ask Dorset Council to investigate options to improve pedestrian safety and bring options back to this council?
Perfect.
Okay,
Yeah,
got that wording?
So request DC investigate. Still writing, councillor Clifford was proposing.
No, I was going to leave that to
oh, yeah.
Request that Dorset Council investigate.
investigate ways to improve pedestrian safety in this area, bring options back to this council to discuss.
Yeah. In the vicinity of the Tesco store.
In the vicinity.
In particular.
The Royal Standard, as I was saying.
Tesco store and bring options back.
Yeah. We could add some possibilities there, I think. Possibly full crossing, chicane, do you leave it to that? Yeah, okay, well.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
we'll get to look at things that might not be appropriate. Let's leave it blank. They come back and say, these are the three things that we think will work.
So
Here's how much the bill will be.
that's proposed by councillor Clifford, is it second?
I would say proposed by-
I propose,
Yeah, I'll
okay,
propose it.
seconded by
Yeah.
councillor
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay. We have enough proposers and seconders?
Okay.
Yeah. All those in favour? Unanimous vote. Right, we'll go back. Agenda. So item 6, planning applications for discussion. There are 2 that have been identified. First one is the north of West Police Station. Chippenham. So that's different.
Yes, so this cuts across my Dorset Council Board rather than my Weymouth Town Council Board. What I want to stress is that there are 2 very similar applications. One is Persimmons for 350-ish houses, and this one at Southville touches into Southville, but largely in Chickerell, for a further 360 houses. So we've got 700 plus houses go through the planning process, and the rules of planning are that you treat them independently. You judge each one on its individual merits. And what I would like to stress is these 2 need to be considered as the impact upon each other. Because 700 houses, if you just draw a finger in the air and say that's 1,100 cars at rush hour, all pouring onto the same road, I can't see that planners should be able to look at this independently. They should consider the consequences of each if they go through. There's considerable groundswell of opinion that is opposed to this particular scheme, as there was with Persimmon. I think that the public have stressed some of the idiosyncrasies of dealing with these things individually. For instance, if you look at them both, you can say, well, if you look at them independently, so well, there's lots of space for dog walking and wildlife in this area. And actually that doesn't exist because that's where the next planning application is going to go. Alternatively, if you look at the Southmore and plenty of dog walking area, no, because that's where the Persimmon one's going to go. It just cannot be seen as an individual and independent review. It has to be seen the consequences of each upon each other. And that's really why I just brought it here for us to all to make that stressing view as we go through the Dorset Council, say, please, I have spoken to the planning team. I've asked them to do this. They've taken it away and I had no feedback. So my wish or my proposal is that we as a committee ask Dorset Council to ensure that they look at the 2 schemes and look at the consequences of each on each other.
Okay.
Quick question. Persimmon is this one we're looking at here, the other way round. This is, who's this one?
Persimmon is solely in Chickerell.
Yeah,
This one, the
Is the one
CJ
that-
Fry, is the one that's
Yeah.
largely in Chickerell, but some of it is in,
Right.
Weymouth, which is why it's here.
but they join on to each
But
other.
there's literally a substation between the two. There's very little between the two.
So it's per development.
And yeah, I've got no great beef. I mean, yeah, they are both,
It was a little more, they got a little.
yeah, they are both
Yeah.
schemes that you can see merits and issues with both of them.
Hmm.
But it just doesn't make sense. You say A and B and you don't look at what the consequence of A plus B is.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
and an awful lot of buildings in a very small space, 700.
It's,
Yes, but we've got the plans up there, so that's South Hill there,
Yeah,
off to the right. And you,
So here at the bottom is the police station.
yeah,
This is the Weymouth Manor Care Home, I believe.
yeah,
This strip here falls within Weymouth Town Council, just this little tiny,
yeah.
that's the side here.
That's where one of the, sorry to talk over you, Simon, but that's where one of the planned exit routes is as well, isn't it, from that development?
I think
Yeah,
that's
sure.
an easy exit route from that south of.
How far does it go right the way to the top?
Yeah.
Not.
There we go.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So that's past Grafton Avenue.
Yeah, that is Grafton Avenue at the
Yeah.
top.
The top is Grafton, is it?
Yeah.
It goes right up to Grafton, which is right on the peak of the hill.
Chair, I know that councillor Taylor has raised concern about access. They appear to be using the existing electricity substation access road as the main entrance onto Granby. This is outlined, so I don't think we ought to get stuck in right into the detail, but I wonder whether we've had communication from Chickerell Town councillors, as the majority of this scheme is in Chickerell, to say, have they asked us to support their views in any way?
We've not received anything from Chickerell Town
Okay.
Council, no. Their objection is already on the.
Yeah.
On here somewhere. There's a lot of comments.
While you find that, make some observations here. I live nearby and there's been a lot of development in Chickerell. The estates built by Fry have been of good quality.
Yeah.
Has to be said. They do look attractive. They seem on some of the previous estates to have not had any improvement in the road infrastructure leading up to them. So there's a lot more traffic going down quite narrow roads. And this will probably increase the traffic through Nottington and Bradwell Village. Potentially, and they've both got quite difficult pinch points, 90-degree bends, bridges. So I'd probably pick up that point of the cumulative impact and make sure and really highlight it to highways that they really need to improve the highways infrastructure to service this number of houses. Just picking up your points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was unfortunate that the developers launched their consultation in South Hill, which is in Weymouth, when the majority of it, as we can see from there, is in Chickerell.
Yeah.
And the impact will be on Chickerell residents as much as anyone. They should have one in each area. Having said that, I think the developers are good. I think their estate building is extremely good in comparison to some others, including some very local ones through the scheme. So I have nothing against them at all. I'm very supportive of them. It's just as you say, the cumulative impact of two big schemes. I know there will be a big access road from the Persimmon scheme, a very big junction being built. This scheme doesn't seem to link up with that because it's a little bit further to the east. But there are some opportunities for some significant planning gain, as well as some significant planning issues coming up, and we just need to look at them both together.
So joined up thinking, joined up roads.
That would be very sensible, wouldn't it?
It would.
And having been to, sorry, Chair,
Yeah.
thank you, having been to a couple of events where the locals in South Hill have discussed this, there's a lot of concern about potential flooding as a result of that. Mead Road, sort of broadly opposite John Gregory floods quite regularly during the autumn and winter already. And that's where they want, how can we put it, a huge amount of soak away behind it at the moment, which would not be there by definition if it's built on with 360 odd homes.
Right, so we could flag up the impact on the roads and the impact on flooding as concerns.
Yeah.
Yes, and I've observed that the Fry development at the top of Chickerell has quite an extensive suds. And they've just built a massive tank underneath the Chickerell football ground. So it's obviously a real issue. And it has flooded down in Southall before. So,
Hard
Have
to
we-
imagine that that is at the moment.
yes, yes. There. We're just looking at the
Apologies, Jack, I have one
Yeah.
further comment. So I went and put forward residents' views at the Chickerell only Persimmon application. Asking there that the two things are considered together because it basically blends Chickerell into Weymouth. That there's that loss of the gap between the two towns. Chickerell Town Council are equally unhappy with losing the what I think they call it strategic green gap or something like that. So it's another of the perhaps weaker support. Chickerell Town Council, even if they don't appear to be asking us to say we see their objections and actually are supportive of some of them.
okay, yeah, so we're just looking at the Chickerell objection, that's good. And they picked up the highways as well.
Yeah.
So we got. So which slides that into words then, so we've got.
So I would say that we would ask planning authority to review the two schemes together.
Yeah,
To fully understand the impacts on the local communities of Chickerell and South Hill in Weymouth.
yeah,
This committee supports Chickerell Town Council's objections.
Yeah.
In light of traffic, environment,
yeah,
flooding,
yeah,
and the loss of the green barrier separating the two towns. Right?
Green space.
Yes,
Green space.
boundary or something.
Yes.
Yeah, green space. It's a good word.
hang on a minute. They
Yes.
separating the two.
Okay, that's
Okay,
so that's proposed, do we have a, do we have a seconder?
Yeah.
Seconded. Yeah. Any more debate or would you be happy with that? Okay, all those in favour? Unanimously carried. Now, Maiden Street public toilets, Maiden Street Weymouth, councillor Clifford.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to be dominated, but I'm just going to say one thing, Chris. So following the discussion that we had in full council last month, I say last month, but it might have been as few as a week ago.
Yeah.
We had a big debate about charging and whether we should, and it was suggested that we would look at everything on a case by case basis, and the example given was Maiden Street public toilets, which has been vandalised in the past, might be a case where we will put charging in. I'm not going to say anything other than where are we with that and do we want to discuss?
We're against charging full stop, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
really
this
description.
is the test case where we said on a case by case basis.
Yeah,
So I'm very happy to support someone who would suggest that it's the first test case of the new policy.
So let's
and-
try it without charging.
And despite what may be good reasons to put in charging in order to protect the toilets, this committee is very happy to recommend that we approve no charging in these toilets.
Yes, I had a lot of feedback from residents to that effect, so.
is that what we're being asked to?
No, we're considering the planning application, but we can,
Mm,
I suppose that has.
It would be in a
preference.
planning application, wouldn't it?
It wouldn't be, but it could be a design of it.
Yeah.
So we amend the,
So we could agree these public toilets with the caveat that there is no charging.
councillor Dickham.
Are we as a licensing and planning committee able to vote against our own council?
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay,
Application, we have to treat it fairly and independent.
yeah, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
putting words into the
Yeah.
chair's mouth.
My understanding is.
That seems fair. We are a separate committee having the finance.
advice.
Finance.
An admirable addition of the vice chair, right there.
Yes, so that's a proposal then. Seconded, councillor Civil. Do you want to debate it or should we go?
Do you want to say a bit about why it's important?
I think it's important to support the work that our colleagues on Environment and Services have done to agree a programme of works. I think anyone that has visited those facilities or indeed walked past them would agree that despite the excellent work that our cleaning teams do, there is only so much you can do with them in the state of repair that they are currently. So I'm happy to support that it needs doing, and I also don't think we should be charging for toilets. So I agree with the caveat.
Yes, fine building it ought to have fine toilets, so yes.
It used to be the fire station.
Looks a bit small.
Cannonball
in the wall,
hasn't it?
Yes.
There's a cannonball in the wall. So,
Therefore, it's going forward as a conditional response.
Yes, that's the condition.
And it's demonstrating that we as councillors are able to listen to our community and reflect their views.
And
Yeah.
also, is that a material planning consideration?
I still move forward.
Okay.
Don't know what we mean.
Yes. They may choose to ignore it, but we can, doesn't stop us selling it. Yes. Right, so proposed, seconded, all those in favour?
Okay.
Oh, we're cruising tonight, aren't we? So that's the ones that we've got back for discussion, and were there any later items?
I'm just about to have a look. No, there weren't.
No, okay, so are there any on the not for consideration list that people having second thoughts that would like to retrieve, discuss? No, it looks like everyone's happy with them.
Okay.
In that case, we'll just consider it on block or proposal second.
Yes, please.
So proposal that we pass all those larger list, councillor Moses, councillor Dickens seconds, all those in favour? In which reason? Number 8, tree preservation orders, there are none.
Chair.
Yep.
Can I ask the clerk just to double check something? So in Sutton Points, we approved the demolition of a house and 2 houses to be built. What I hadn't quite anticipated was the complete ground clearance that was going to take place there. And I wondered whether we could check the policy for if you take one down, one tree, you will plant 2 has been passed on to the applicants because some significant trees have gone. And I'm not seeing any sign of anything going in that place.
Okay.
I know it's an unofficial,
Is it in a conservation area?
probably in Sutton Point.
Because in terms of conservation areas, the planning or the tree officer has no authority or no powers to request that additional trees are planted.
No, I thought we had a sort of unofficial policy, which is when we get a tree preservation ordinance and we agree to take one down, our soft policy is, and we ask them to plant 2 in their place.
So that's what we were doing for all tree applications, but I was told on a couple of occasions, if the trees are not in a conservation area, we can make the request for 2 trees to be planted in lieu of one that's been felled. But in terms of conservation areas, we are not able to do that.
I don't know whether it is or not, so perhaps I could ask you just to double check.
Yeah,
It's placed as Lane, Sutton Points.
Okay.
I think it is.
Sure, it is conservation.
Yeah.
That is a strange occurrence if conservation areas have less protection.
Place to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like the
Does
wrong way
seem
round.
counterintuitive.
It does.
Do you know-
That'd be right.
Which property it was,
I do.
because I think they would have had to have put in a tree application, found it.
Well, perhaps they,
But can we, perhaps I could ask you just to double check and liaise with me
Yeah.
and.
Yeah, if you,
if you
yeah.
can't find it, you know.
Yeah, local, to me a million times.
Yeah. All right, plan indicator, number 9, next plan application of the delegated powers, so that's just information. Heating installations, licensing and enforcement of masts, none. Sitting out licenses, this is Wellington Arms, St Albans Street, it's quite a modest sitting out area.
And this is just a renewal of the existing sitting out area, so nothing's changed, same number of tables,
Yes.
same it.
That one seems to be well run as far as I observe.
Yeah.
It doesn't obstruct the passage, unlike some on the seafront, which do. But my bugbear is when we give them the quite generous sitting out areas, then they go and put their A-boards across the remaining. That's but anyway, these guys don't, so I support them to be able to vote on that one.
Yes, please.
Okay, we have Fraser in a second, Fraser, or second again, Clifford, all those in favour. Right, okay. Number 12, certificate of lawfulness. Now, this is one of these unusual ones where we don't have to comment, we just have to say if there's any.
If
we know.
if we have any evidence that the development has or has not existed or not existed for a period of 4 or 10 years, then yeah, we need to pass that evidence to
Right, so
Dorset Council.
So it's a fact finding one. So does anyone have any inside knowledge of 23 Abbotsbury Road?
No.
No,
Nope.
that's usually the case.
No evidence.
We have nothing.
No evidence, therefore no comments, nothing to vote on. Okay, thank you.
Number 13, I'm looking for some, double yellow lines, rabbit pole outside the school. I can see why this has gone forward, because I absolutely avoid that area at school times, it's.
Lucky you.
Becomes completely, I just think it's. So
I,
anyone like to talk to this item?
Yeah, I'll post this as, David Northern's, put this one forward. Yeah, there is a terrible problem, congestion there. This is a request for some yellow lines here, so that we stop parking on one side of the road only, so that traffic can still move through. Yeah, as you said, it's impossible to get through there at school arrival and leaving times. So the motion is to ask Dorset Council to consider putting some yellow lines in.
Yep. Anyone else like to cover our council? Cliff?
I don't disagree, but there are already restrictions on there that people don't.
Take a note.
Yeah.
So I'm slightly hesitant that double yellow lines will work in the way that we would all hope they would work. If you've got the people parking on zigzag roads, which is, you know, an even bigger restriction. I just wonder again whether it's one of these ones where we could, as a minimum, have double yellow lines, but ask Dorset Council to come along and look at it themselves and say what more can be done. And it might be some enforcement action on a more regular basis to stop people parking dangerously and creating an issue for children crossing and for commuters. It just feels like double yellow lines on their own are just going to get ignored.
Civil.
the boy civil is 6 and goes to Rutherford, so I do get involved in some collection and drop off, as does my wife, as do her parents. And coincidentally, we were talking about this this evening before coming out, and I pretty much come to the same conclusion as Councillor Clifford, is that most of the issues currently are that the existing restrictions aren't enforced. And that's not anyone's fault. That's the reality of where priorities lie with I assume it's with the local constabulary. But you see during the course of the school year that it gets worse and worse during that time. And I do not envy the people that live nearby, especially on the roads adjacent, because it is sort of a bit of a bun fight, frankly, at 8:30 8, 7:45 every morning, and then again from 3 till 3:20
Hmm,
of an evening. But if we recommend in effect double yellow lines down both sides of that road, I'm not confident that anyone would take any notice of it. You're quite right, Brian. And B, we will inevitably be moving a problem somewhere nearby. And the reason that I can't be sure. And I would imagine that the reason that most people park nearby the school is that there is insufficient parking on the roads nearby. The schools that were built in the 50s and 60s weren't designed for 50, 60, 70% of parents dropping their kids off on the way to school. Yeah, and cars being much bigger. There aren't. Is it worth referring it to Dorset and asking for? I see it, thanks, Lee. And asking for them to come down and review it once term starts again. I think it probably is, but I'm not sure I'm comfortable recommending additional measures at this time when the existing ones aren't enforced or aren't observed. Yeah, is a better way to put it. That's not
I
fair.
mean, is there any, sorry,
Yeah, okay.
is there any option to ask Dorset to, like you say, to look at the button?
Well,
Is there a way you can do that?
Councillor Young.
yeah, Mr. Chairman, yeah, well, Councillor Northern has met with Dorset Council road safety officers, and they have been there and they've had a look at this.
Hmm.
And they made some recommendations. They could upgrade the school warning lights, extending the yellow lines, or erecting some bollards on the pavement, which would stop cars parking on the pavement, I guess. So they have looked at this.
Councillor Trevors.
Can I just check, so the title is request for double yellow lines. The end says ask to support this application to improve road safety, and the middle says upgrading warning lights, extending double yellow lines, erecting bollards on the pavement, direct people parking. So there's a whole suite of options in there. So what are we actually?
So
voting on?
the town clerk has asked Dorset Council to provide a definitive list of what this committee can consider in terms of community highways requests, because there's a grey area. And until such time that they provide that, which they say they're going to do, I've been told double yellow lines
Okay,
is what we can send a request up for.
so where Councillor Northern, and he's done some really good work here, so well done.
Yes.
Says recommendations were discussed and agreed in principle, that's with the road safety team,
Yes,
but that hasn't been agreed, but it hasn't gone through a consultation process with us. So at the minute, all we've got are double yellow lines.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to where we were in the first place, which is if they've already been there, they've already been and looked. If we could ask them to put these into something that we could actually vote on, I think we'd be minded to approve from the voices in the room.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, some of the hard engineering,
Yeah.
a double yellow line may not work, but a
Bollards
bollard
has
will.
got the parking.
Yeah. So is there a form of words that would convey that?
Not sure it's relevant, but I'll say anyway. I do see the communication that comes from the school, and it is fairly regular. It's saying the same sort of thing. So it's not, so the school to be fair to them, are doing their best to encourage parents to park sympathetically. Sorry.
Yeah, just good observation. Yeah, observation, my children went to St Nicholas at St Lawrence when most children simply walked to school. Doesn't seem to Radipole, most children dropped off in cars. Something different about where the catchment is and whatever, but it's an observation.
Catchment is.
I think
It is the catchment.
Yeah, exactly that, but they're, and it will be a number of schools is that parents select which local primary school they want the children to go to. Yeah, so they'll be all across the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an attractive school, it's got its own nature reserve, so I can see why people would want to go there. Have we got any wording?
I'm looking for some words.
Yeah.
Why don't we do something along the lines of, we support the request for double yellow lines, but would would welcome Dorset Council's road safety officers to firm up their agreement in principle for other parking restrictions to be brought back to this council. This committee.
We support the request to double yellow lines, but we welcome the road safety officers firming up the agreement to
Their agreement in principle,
principle. Yeah,
as detailed within the report, in order to further improve safety. And bring back to this committee.
Okay, words and money, do we have a second now? Begins. All those in favour? Good.
unanimous.
It was unanimous.
Great, thank you.
Traffic regulation orders, none. There are a couple of information items. No emergency items. Therefore declare the meeting closed.
Or 8 o'clock.
Yes.